Hajimemashite, Boko wa JJ desu. Everyone out there in YouTube land. This is my friend Sam. He's sitting over there on my screen, I guess. I should flip my screen so I can point at you normally. He's been in Japan for like a whole 6 months or something, but we're going to find out. He's been here forever. I've known him for like 10 minutes, something like that. So Sam, how long have you actually been in Japan?
This is my 21st year.
21st year in Japan.
Yes,
And
sir.
as of recording, this is March 4th, 2025.
Well,
So-
next month's going to be my 22nd year. I will be here end of March.
There we go. I wish I remembered. I vaguely remember mine. So we're in your bar.
Okay.
This is not your first bar.
This is not my first bar.
How many different establishments have you either owned or ran?
I've never ran a bar, but I've opened three bars. This is the third one. The first one was in Fukuoka. Did that back in 2017. Then sold it in 2021. Took 1 year's break, and then went to Shibuya and opened a bar there
And that's in Tokyo.
in Tokyo. And did that for about 10 months, but realized that I couldn't get used to Tokyo. I was there for the first 10 years and it was awesome, but once you live in Fukuoka, it spoils you. So I kept missing Fukuoka, so gave up that bars and moved back to Fukuoka and opened this one right here.
Was that because of choice or because of COVID?
It was definitely by choice.
Okay.
COVID has been actually really good to bar owners because we got compensated by the government, not open. So basically, we got paid for not working, which is awesome. So it was the best time to own a bar was during COVID.
See, I didn't know that. They didn't do that in America. Well, they had a little bit, but they didn't do
Yeah,
it.
they
that-
had some assistance, but there was more loans. In Japan, there's no loans. Just take the money, just don't open the bar. And like, okay. So I went to like Okinawa every month.
Really?
Yeah.
Okinawa?
Yep, because there's nothing to do. I mean, I'm getting paid, and my wife had a baby, so she could like really be near me because I was still running a bar when
Yeah.
the restriction was lifted. It's like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
Mm.
So they opened the bar. I mean, they let us open 2 weeks. The number of infections went up again, closed for 2 weeks, up and down. So I worked 2 weeks and I got paid for the other 2 weeks for not working. So I just like, okay, I'm going to Okinawa because there's nothing to do here. And back then during COVID, I mean, hotels were dirt cheap, airlines were like, you could go to Okinawa for under $100 for staying 3 nights, including airfare, which was
Now Okinawa, that is the southern island.
Okay. Southernmost island in Japan. Like
Okay.
There are a bunch of islands, so the closest one to Kyushu would be like the main thing,
Honshu.
Okinawa. Yeah, Honshu. Honshu is like the
big one.
It's like a big island.
The
but
big one, the baseball bat is what I call it.
Yeah.
Because there's the baseball bat, there's Kyushu, and then there's what's the other one?
Yeah, Shikoku.
Yeah, Shikoku. And so it's like the baseball bat with 2 balls.
Yeah, stuff. Okay.
And then Okinawa, just for everyone, Okinawa is
it's kind of far
further
off. It's
south.
like a couple hours flight, hour and a half flight from Fukuoka. So it's stretched like different islands. So there's one, I think it's Miyakojima or something. It's called. It's pretty close to Taiwan.
Mm.
So it's pretty spread out. So it's a good place. And I've never been to the other islands, but I've been to Naha, like only Naha.
Naha.
But they have like a lot of cheeseburger shops there.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans, So
Do you like Okinawa though? Because I've never been to Okinawa
for the weather?
for the weather.
Yeah. I mean, winter.
But there's many.
Winter, yeah. And I don't mind the summer that much either. It's hot, but you can go to the beach. So
Nice. There's a lot of like foreigners there though, like.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I thought
it's like all American, all our Navy boys are all over there.
Yeah. I've never been. So like during like you mentioned like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off during COVID, was that like rotated? Like where like this area bars can be open?
No. Everything shuts
Okay.
down. And like they not really like 2 weeks. It could have been a month. It could have been like 2 months, and
Gotcha.
like that. It was like on like they would reopen let us reopen, but then within a few weeks or 2 weeks or something, the infections go up again.
Yeah.
So, okay, got shut down again, and then on and off, on and off.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been here 22 years soon.
Almost. Yes.
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
Originally,
Mm-hmm.
why did you come?
The very first time I came to Japan was as a tourist,
Mm.
and of course I went to Tokyo. I didn't go to any of the cities, but I really fell in love with the city,
Mm-hmm.
and I always wanted to go back. And then I took a little time off and started traveling around, and I ran into a Japanese girl at an airport in Canada, and
Of all places.
of all places, and then became friends, and then one thing led to another. We got married, so I moved to Tokyo, and we were married for the first 7 years. It was like the best 7 years of my life, and sometimes things fall apart, didn't work out. So then
My viewers know the stories.
So
Not your story, but my story.
yeah, oh, your story. Okay. Yeah. So then so after the divorce, I didn't want to stay in Tokyo so much because everything reminded me of her. So I just left Tokyo with 3 years after the divorce, and then I moved to Fukuoka.
Mm.
And I've been here for the last 11 years, except for 2 years ago when I went back to Shibuya. And I got really used to Fukuoka. I moved here, I think, around 2012, 2013, that time.
Which we would have met, I think it was 2015 or 2017.
Could have been.
One of those.
Yeah. Yeah, Fukuoka is pretty small. We could have met like at Black Sheep is the place where everybody hangs out back then. Like when I first moved here, I think Black Sheep was the only bar that all the foreigners get together. Like 5 p.m. happy hour, filled up with foreigners. When the happy hour is done, foreigners are done.
Right?
We're pretty drunk by 7 p.m. Yeah. I remember ordering like 2 jumbo gin tonics at like 6:59 p.m. Yeah,
And the discount isn't even as good now as it was then.
Oh, yeah, back then it was half off. 50% off. Now it's I don't even know.
It's 50 yen.
It's 50 yen.
Off of draft beer.
Okay, yeah, beers were never that cheap. Beers like 100 maybe 200 yen off during happy hour.
Mm.
But the cocktails were, which I'm a gin tonic guy, so I like give me that. So it was 50% off. And then did that, and then I opened my bar in 2017. So I almost stopped going there.
Wow.
And after that, I think 2019, 2020, the pandemic started. I think Hub opened up down the street from Black Sheep.
Mm. That was about 2019 when they opened.
Yeah.
In Fukuoka.
In Fukuoka, yeah. So, I was a big fan of Hub. When I lived in Tokyo, I was at Hub every day.
Hub's everywhere in
Tokyo. Yeah, Hub's everywhere. And I'm a gold member of Hub.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a card and everything?
Yeah, I have a card, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
get like a bigger discount than average customers because I was teaching English there. That's what
At Hub?
Yeah. That's what gave me the idea to have a bar like that people come in, speak English, drink,
Good idea.
take lessons, drink, have fun, So I did that at Hub. I was teaching lessons at Hub every day. The manager knew, I was there at least for 3 hours, sometimes more.
Mm.
I had at least 2 lessons a day in Hub. So one customer would come in, a student would come in, finish the lesson, then he or she would hang out, and then the other one would come in, and then, when I finished the second lesson,
You hang out together.
all 3 of us get together. And sometimes some students, they got to know each other, so they would come in and hang out for 2 hours in the same lessons. I would get paid for 2 lessons, but they're taking that's fine, and I didn't mind. So it was a pretty good setup. So it was a good life, and the manager man, you bring many people here, and then those people like the wife because many foreigners hung out at Hub. So we can come back here and meet foreigners, speak English, So that's what motivated me. Hey, I gotta have a place like this,
See, that's a brilliant idea. I never even thought of that because, when I've only ever really done privates.
Private lessons.
Yeah, and it was usually at Mr. Donut or
Yeah, we
another
did that.
coffee shop.
We did that. I did that. I'm not going to go to Hub at 10 a.m. I had lessons in Tokyo because I had spouse visa and I eventually got my PR.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to worry about visa, so I refused to work for school.
So that's another question. So you have a PR.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one.
So I just and there were like a lot of companies that introduced private students,
Mm.
and they're like cafe style lessons, and so you would meet them at a cafe, teach them an hour, and like after they introduce the student, you have like freedom. The student can take one lesson a week or one lesson a month, whatever.
It's up to the
Up to the
student.
student, and they can choose. So like, okay, you want to meet me in Shinjuku, you want to meet me in Shibuya, whatever. So I had like my own places where I used to go. This only Starbucks was a non-smoking thing.
Mm.
I like that, and then so I would just I'm going to be at this Starbucks in Shinjuku, and I'm going to be at this Starbucks in Shibuya, and I'm going to be at this Starbucks in Ikebukuro. So whatever. So we worked out. So I would like actually on a Saturday and a Sunday, I was at Starbucks for almost 8 hours, sometimes even more.
Wow.
Yeah, I started a lesson at 9. So Saturday, Sundays, I had like almost 10 lessons.
That's like a full-time teacher though.
Yes, I had 50 students, and I was teaching 7 days a week. Never took a day off from teaching, and I was busy every day. And on the weekends, I would like only stay at one place. Like Saturday would be my Shinjuku day, Sunday would be my Shibuya day, and then but weekdays I had more flexibility. Daytime was not as busy.
Yeah.
So I accepted some like group lessons. So I would go to like Saitama or Chiba or even Kanagawa from Tokyo.
What was the last one? Kanagawa.
Kanagawa. Yokohama.
Yokohama. Okay.
Kanagawa. But it's not really that far. It was just on the other side of Futago Tamagawa, which is kind of popular big station in Tokyo, but it's the end of Tokyo. And then the Kanagawa prefecture changes, but it's just like right there.
Okay.
So it wasn't that far. So there was a group lesson there. I was teaching a bunch of senior citizens, and I picked up a bunch of them in different places. So they paid pretty well. So I was like, okay, I don't mind sitting in the train for an hour and a half.
What's your preference, like one-on-one versus a group?
Definitely groups pay better.
Yeah. But like your teaching preference, like what
my
feels better
preference
for
is
you?
One-on-one.
Okay.
One-on-one. But I think I don't mind either. One-on-one is more like personal.
Yeah.
But groups is easier because you have more than one person. That if someone wants to stay quiet, the other person talks. So it's a good balance. But in a private lesson, I had some students that don't want to talk. So I was like, okay, you're paying me to learn English, but you don't want to talk. So it's kind of like, I feel like I'm not giving that person their money's worth,
Right.
But it's not my
Right.
fault, but I still feel bad. So group is better that way. But, most of my students, they talk and they're fine.
All right. So I didn't even ask this part. So you are from what country?
I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
And was there till I graduated high school. Didn't really like the Chicago winter, the wind.
Yeah.
So
The Windy City.
the windy city, yeah. In the winter, it's horrible.
Mm.
And then as soon as I graduated high school, I ran away to Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And went to a junior college, but I was 18, and every time I went to college, I was like, hey, let's go to the beach. So I didn't do much for about a year, almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then my dad got involved, like, you're wasting your life. So, like, okay. So he wanted me to go back, and come back to Chicago. I'm like, I'm not coming back to Chicago, so we compromised. I moved to Atlanta. I got into Georgia State University,
Mm.
and actually got my master's there. So,
Can I ask what your master's is in?
economics.
Economics. Okay.
Not not alcohol.
Not a drinking
Not have a
master's.
master's in alcohol.
Me too.
So, yeah, and then, and then while I was about to graduate, one of my friends introduced me to some guy who worked for Domino's Pizza, the head office.
Yeah.
But the head office is in Ann Arbor, but there's like another regional office. So he offered me a job, like, you want to work for us as an intern? But sure. But it was a paid internship.
Mm.
Like, yeah, why not, And then I met a lot of franchisees, and they're like, we got along well. They're like, I live in this area, so the franchisee of that store where I live, he said, I really need help on weekends. Can you come drive? So I started delivering pizzas on weekend, and it was really good money. So I'm working at Domino's corporate office, and then doing the weekend thing. And when I graduated, I got a job at a window blind manufacturer, Hunter Douglas. I think it's a Dutch company. They had a big office in Atlanta. So, and I met dealers over there which were buying from us and selling to the public. And all these guys were driving like Porsches and BMWs, and they lived in huge houses. They had their boats.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? So I quit my job like the Domino's were like, I was still doing like the store thing.
Yep.
And the weekend, like, I'm gonna go work for the dealer. So I learned the business. It was really easy. Just measure the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Give them an estimate. Yes, no. Job done, and you make really good money. So I started doing that, and then with everything I was doing, became a full-time dealer. And I luckily got introduced to like one of the top 5 builders in the state of Georgia, and he gave me an exclusive contract, which was worth a few $1,000,000 in sales every year. So and life has been good since then.
There you go. Well, it's been fun. How long have we been?